Good morning and welcome to Frank's School. This is the 6th year, 159th day, the first video. And I want to say a word. I'm going to be brief today. A word about a book here called Ecotopia. Maybe show it to you again, I don't know. But anyway, I want to make a correction too. I had, when I uploaded the numbers for one of the videos, I had the 6th year, 165th day first video. It should have been 156th day first video. That was the video that I called Degrowth USA. And by the way, there's big developments really going on there, and soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow, I'm going to address this matter again. But I wanted to say something about Ecotopia because I've just finished reading it. I say again and again, I'm a slow reader. It takes me a long time. Well, plus I just don't do very much reading. I'm pretty active outside. It was written by Ernest Kallenbach. It was written in 1975. And I want to thank John DeGraff for telling me about it. John DeGraff is a filmmaker. He's become a friend of mine online. And he's about my age. He's made many documentaries. And I had approached him with a question, is there any fiction that would pertain to degrowth or ecological morality? He particularly doesn't like that word, degrowth. And you know, I thought he would know because he's devoted his life really to the cause in a way. Most recent movie is Redefining Prosperity. But anyway, I'll talk about that elsewhere. But anyway, he came up with that, Ecotopia, he thought about, and I think I'd seen the word in some of my research, but I sort of took his advice and decided, well, I'm going to read it. It's described as a novel, but is it really a novel? I don't know. It certainly is a utopia. It is a genuine utopia. And it proposes that 20 years before the fictional journalist that goes and visits it had been there, North California, Oregon, and Washington State had seceded from the United States. And during those 20 years of isolation, it had developed its own culture, which is quite different and very ecologically conscious. It's, you know, I say a novel, well, it's fiction, of course, but in a way it reads like a collection of essays, of maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 little tiny essays. Well, it's supposed to, because the fictional character is reporting, he's sending columns back to a newspaper in the United States to explain he's been allowed in to the country. And he's sending word back about what it's like there. And so you get all these reports. It is tied together with a story of a budding romance between the character and an ecotopian woman. So, you know, it's sort of like a fiction. No, but in terms of a novel, yeah, I don't know. I don't know as it really carries its own weight because there's not that enough attention given, I think, to the development of the story itself. I don't mean to put it down, but anyway, as a collection of these tiny little essays, you get a description of what a world could be like if it were ecologically conscious, moral, and I enjoyed it. I guess I would say I recommend it as well. But maybe more importantly, oh, and by the way, he's older than me, or was older than me by about 17 years. I think he's born in 1929, and he died in 2012. Otherwise, I'd try to contact him. I didn't realize he was so old. And it's a case of, well, he's died, but he's left us this work. I don't know in its day how influential or famous it was. I was just completely out of the loop. Maybe loopy. By 1975, I don't think I even knew it was published. But anyway, back to this. Utopias versus dystopias. I am going to start to take a another look. I'm going to revisit the subject of utopias. For any of those of you that might not be certain what they are, it's hard to imagine. But a utopia is a detailed description of an imagined, more perfect world. And I used to always teach about it. And when I was teaching in public school, I'd start really with Plato's The Republic, and of course Thomas More's Utopia, from where it gets the genre gets its name. And I realized that it's been a lifelong interest of mine, really lifelong. Maybe from the time that I was, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 years old. And I am going to revisit that, and I'll take more time with that. But it's put together. When I was looking at it in the Wikipedia article, it gave this extensive list of utopias, and to my surprise, I'd read just about all of them. I knew them. I'll look again. But they were mixed together with dystopias, and dystopias are so different that I almost take a little offense at that. Because a dystopia is an imagined different world described in detail, but that somehow is wrong. That goes wrong, sometimes horribly wrong. Not a world where you'd want to be. That's a completely different genre. And I have much less interest in that. So anyway, I said I'd be brief, and I think that I've said what I need to about Ecotopia. You'll hear more about utopias, of course, soon, and very soon you're going to hear about the developments going on here. Bye for now.